Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Facebook live posts or our YouTube live posts. We switched platforms today. We are looking at the Buddhist teachings of the Eightfold Path, specifically of the ethical conduct section and how we might practice with those during this time of the COVID-19 crisis. Yesterday, we talked about practicing with non-harming, and today we're going to practice with the second, what would be called the 5 trainings or 5 precepts, is not taking that which hasn't been freely offered. And yesterday we talked about the kind of the 2 aspects of these trainings, these ethical trainings. One, the abstaining form of them, so not harm, not steal, etc. And then the cultivation form of them, meaning, how do we go from just simply, in today's case, not stealing or not taking what hasn't been freely offered to, to not just not take, but how could we even then, what would the cultivation look like? And then, of course, one way to practice that is generosity. So the opposite of not taking would be giving. I think one important question that is very helpful to ask and kind of get a sense of is, when we do take, when we do steal, why? What is it that drives that? Because if we don't know what that is and it's not clear, then it has the chance to arise and not be seen and be more likely to result in us taking what's not freely offered. And I know from looking at my own mind, and I think many others as well, what's behind the taking what's not freely offered is kind of like a scarcity mentality. Like, there's not going to be enough for me. And kind of what's underneath that is fear, right? Fear, just that kind of base fear based on this underlying ignorance that we are a separate self and that we have to protect ourselves and get what we want and get what we need, because we're in competition with other separate selves for these limited resources, and therefore the scarcity mentality. If fear and the scarcity mentality is what's underneath or behind this intention to take what's not freely offered, can we see that? Can we start to see that playing out? And of course, with this, the COVID-19 crisis, unfortunately, we see that all over the place, whether it's taking more toilet paper from the supermarket than one needs, or all the scams that are coming out on the internet now. Yeah, people trying to take from others so that they can really kind of just quell this fear, whether that fear is clearly felt or not, it's there. And of course, we can see the opposite. Yeah, these kind of crises, people tend to go in one of 2 different directions, one towards fear and everything that arises from that. And then the other is towards love and openness and kindness. And we can see that being played out all over, and lovely stories of that on the internet as well. So if not having enough, or this fear of not having enough, is what's behind when we take what's not freely offered, how can we cultivate this sense of having enough? What would that look like? Well, one way to do that is in our formal meditation. So let's do that together now. Find a position, whether you want to walk or stand or lie down or be seated. I'm going to stay in my chair here. And just take your position or begin walking. I like to meditate with my eyes closed. You can join me if you want. And let's begin with, regardless of what posture we're in, knowing that there is a body here. And as always, this knowing is a direct, felt sense knowing, somatic, not thinking about the body or evaluating or judging the body, simply feeling it directly, just as it is. We can practice Ajahn Sumedho's wonderful teaching to us of it's like this now. Connecting with the body and knowing somatically, it's like this now. And it can be helpful to invite the body to soften, relax a bit, kind of settle, calming the body. Or maybe better said, allowing the body to calm, just giving it the conditions that are supportive for it to just naturally calm and settle. Yesterday, we talked about just this process and what a caring thing that is to do for oneself. Caring being the opposite of harming. Enjoying this time spent quiet, still, relaxed. It can be subtly pleasant. And the Buddha said, sense pleasures are to be enjoyed. That's what we do with them. We don't pin our hopes for happiness on them, but we do enjoy them. Very helpful and important in our meditation practice to enjoy the calm when it's present. Connecting with calm body sitting. Connecting with calm body breathing. Again, this is a direct felt sense connection in the moment. So not thinking about the breath, but feeling the breath in the body. Where you feel it, it doesn't matter. What you feel doesn't matter. That you feel is what matters. Now, as we're connected to the experience of body breathing, I want to bring your attention to the fact that there is nothing inhibiting the body breathing. I mean, you might be stopped up or something like that, but other than that, that the atmosphere, the air is there freely for your taking. Get a sense of that. It's freely offered to you and to all life forms. There's nothing you have to do to make that happen. You don't have to be worthy in a particular way for this air to be available to you. It's just there for you to take as much as you want. You can breathe in as deeply or as quickly as the body, could allow, would be able to. And there would be no shortage. There is no shortage. There is enough. If you can get a sense of that. These three things that this human body needs to stay alive: food, water, and oxygen or air. Of those three, the air is by far the most important. And it's freely offered, and there's enough. With each in-breath, let that be impressed upon you. There is enough. Letting both the physicalness of the breath, the in and out breathing, to help calm the body, to help ease the agitation and fear that it just comes with times like these. But also, and reflecting on, not just reflecting, also experiencing with each in-breath the abundance that is here in the form of our atmosphere. Letting that allay any fears of not enough. The most basic thing that we need to survive is here, and it's here in bountiful supply. Letting that perhaps bring ease to the system. Lovely. Thank you for meditating with me. So getting this sense that the atmosphere is generous. We can take as much as we want. And again, the cultivation, if the cultivation form of not taking what's not freely given is generosity, we can ask ourselves the question, how can we be generous at this time of the COVID-19 crisis? Well, it could be as simple as not taking more toilet paper than you need from the supermarket when you go shopping so that others can have some. You know, as simple as that, to offering resources of time, attentiveness to others, especially people who are isolated at this time. Offering them our attention and connecting is really a beautiful thing and a generous act. Also, as this plays out financially, it's going to be really hard for a lot of people. And so those people with the means would be a great time to perhaps think about how might one be generous with their money and help others at this time. And again, all this generosity can be supported by this awareness, this knowing that there's enough. So just any time throughout the day, bringing your attention to the breath, breathing in as deep as you want and seeing that there's enough. Thank you for being with us today. We really hope that these daily posts are supportive for your practice and, and rippling out in everyone's practice. Want to wish you well today, and remember what's most important at this time is our kindness and our care. Be well.